Welcome back, friends. Today we're back on the bikes again and heading up something really special. The Cime della Bonette, Europe's highest paved through road.
Finding the start of the route.
This climb has a fearsome reputation. It averages 6.8% over a climbing distance of 23.5 kilometres, with the steepest 100-metre stretch hitting 11.7%. And with a total ascent of 1,587 metres, everyone says it's a really tough one. Let's see if it lives up to that reputation.
Route de la Bonette, altitude 2802. This is the start. Here we go. Leaving Jausiers, crossing the bridge. We're at 1250 metres now. It's a big climb.
It's not long after crossing the river Ubai that the first few zigzags appear.
Still quite cool. Just enjoying it at the moment. What's nice is you get a cycle lane which keeps you out of the main flow of traffic. Hopefully this will maintain most of the way up. 6K down. Some good rock architecture here. Going down through the gorge. Keep hitting the odd 9% ramps. And we're going downhill for a bit, which is nice. Quite chilly this morning. Temperatures pretty low once the sun goes in. That's the 10k marker. Cime della Bonette 13, altitude of 1865. So another 1,000 metres to go to the top. In the green and the yellow. Looks like this is a little halt for a refuge or something here. There's the 11k mark. 12 to go. Average of 8.7%.
2,000 metres up and still 12 kilometres to go. This was already starting to feel like a monster.
There's the Halt 2000. You can take a wee break there if you want.
I opted to carry on without stopping, just in case my legs seized up.
Cafe, restaurant, bar. Landscape's starting to change a bit now. Opening up.
I couldn't figure out why my energy levels were so low on this climb, especially with Dave bouncing along full of energy.
Still 1,500 metres to the top, just under 9k. 8k to go. 224 altitude.
A little while later it all made sense. I'd properly bonked, completely out of fuel.
Past a tree line.
I had no choice but to stop, dig out the Haribo and hope they'd kick in quickly.
Gorgeous lake. Another 7k to the summit.
Thankfully the Haribo weaved its magic. I'd need it too. The Cime della Bonette was still roughly 7 kilometres higher and the hardest part was yet to come.
17k down, 6 to go. Steepening up now. It's going to be 9.2% average gradient this next section. You can see the ramps ahead. Bouvette de la Bonette, 1k. You can get your souvenirs. Fantastic landscape. Just levelling off a bit. Just over 3k to go.
You first reach the summit of the Col de la Bonette at 2,715 metres.
Just look at this.
Around 2 kilometres before the higher Cime della Bonette. A loop road climbs over the pass and then circles back around, and it's that loop that gives Bonette its claim as the highest paved through road in the Alps.
And still it climbs. All in the red now. And finally, we reach the top.
It's a bit chaotic up here, isn't it? It was freezing going up there, really cold. I could barely feel my legs. This hurts. Oh.
The top of the Bonette. 2802.
Anyway, it's a bloody good view.
Here's a 180 from the Bonette. Might look warm, but it's bloody freezing. 2,800 metres in July. Whoa, it's cold up here.
That was cold. And now straight on to the next giant, the Col d'Izoire. Shorter but no less brutal and a true Tour de France icon. I bonked on the Bonette. Let's see if the Izoire was any kinder. Ours was a circular route from Briançon with just under 7,000 feet of ascent, but the climb to the Col d'Izoire is just over 19 kilometres at an average gradient of 6.1%.
Cold it is hard. Summit 19.5.
Altitude 1250.
12.15 now, and summit about 2,500. Off we go. There's the next K marker.
118k last day.
Yeah. Summit's 2,360. It's another 1,000 metres. Here comes the 17k marker. Average 5.6.
I'm happy to report that this time I was the one bouncing. I launched up the first gradient like a northern bullet.
Here we go. Magic 16k, 10 miles. Just under 1,000 metres of ascent. It's a nice morning, cool. Just down to the 13k marker. Last three have been fairly steady. Good downhill section. Nice gradient average of around 4-5%. We're into Jausiers. That's we believe we're doing 11k. Nice little spot for a break.
Once more, Dave was hinting at a cafe break, and once more I pedalled determinedly on, eating up the slopes.
Jausiers. Just entered Laus. Laus, beautiful little village. Looks like there's a cafe here. Place for a stop. 6k to the summit. Another 500 metres. Nearing the top now. The last zigzags. Another 370 feet to go.
For the final few kilometres, the views really open up. I enjoyed every pedal stroke. The scenery towards the summit is stunning, and despite the steepening gradient, I still felt full of beans.
And it's cool at the end of July. Yeah, I would say probably cold. Here we go. One more K to go. Averaging 7%.
Once again we were greeted by a very cold summit, but the real treat was the descent down the other side and the ride back to Briançon via the Casse Déserte and the Côte de Champcella, forbidding barren scree slopes with protruding pinnacles, turquoise lakes and spectacular gorges abound. The Casse Déserte has formed a dramatic backdrop to some key moments in the Tour de France, and at times the Giro d'Italia,
Just taking a detour off the main road. However, the detour involves 800 feet of climbing up the Col de Chambon, a lot of which is in the red, like my art red.
Which brings us to our third and final ride in Italy, Passo Manghen. Not as famous as Bonette or Isoard, still a classic alpine climb with steep gradients, stunning scenery and a real challenge for the legs. It's another steep one. We're starting from Borgo Valsugana and once again the gradient ramps up into the red. Let's see how it treats us.
Just making our way up to Telve, the start of Passo Manghen. Super hot today. We're going to have to slow it down now. We're in Italy due to the velocity markers and the speed cameras. Just leaving Borgo Valsugana. Just gone 10 o'clock. Beautiful smell of the hay. Quite a climb ahead of us. Just entering the village of Telve. Altitude 548. Passo Manghen's about 2,000 metres today, so tells us what's ahead. Little flat section. Been going just over 4.5 miles. This part of the pass is closed to commercial vehicles, and we're just getting to the 6k marker, 708 metres. The average ahead 8.2. 8 kilometre mark. Next kilometre average 2.8. Give us a bit of a break. Been pretty hard up that last one. Averaging about 9. Hot today. Just click 6 miles.
It may be free from commercial vehicles, but it's obviously popular with motorbikes.
Another 1,000 to go. Calamento. Just over 800 metres to go. Restaurant. But yes, that looks inviting. It's open. You with 5-foot lights, just pass you by. Let's hit 14%. Here we are. 20k down, 1722 altitude. I'm thinking maybe another 4 or 5k. We'll see.
Higher up, the forest eases away and the road drifts out into open pastures. A calm prelude to those infamous last few kilometres and punchy finale. It's a beautiful, challenging and very worthy ride.
The top, Passo Manghen, 2,042 metres.
So that's Passo Manghen. Peaceful, scenic, a lovely steep finish, and for me, not as tough as Bonette. Back at the van, we even made a new friend.
Hello, little puss. It's another cat.
Hello there.
It seems we have form for attracting feline stowaways.
Do you want a bit of cheese?
So we'll leave it here, gently trying to persuade our latest recruit not to take the wheel.
Come here.
I hope you've enjoyed the cycling, and we'll see you again soon. Until then, cheerio!
Oi. Come here. Come on. Puss, puss. Here.